up in the ring. Boyd Pierce is ready to tell you who's there, so let's pick him up right now.
Your main event of the evening, 2 out of 3 falls, 1 hour time limit. In the blue corner, 230 pounds from Umbarger, Texas, former heavyweight champion of the world, Tough Terry Funk. Across the ring, 235 pounds, Playboy Gary Hart presents from Buffalo, New York, Maniac Mark Lewin. Your referee, Bronco Lewin.
So Mark Lewin, better known by his first name of Maniac, and who often lives up to that. I've often heard the expression crazy as a fox, and I wonder whether it applies to Mark Lewin. His association with Gary Hart convinces me that perhaps he does have the right nickname by these given to him by these fans. So this match puts former world's heavyweight champion Terry Funk, who is called in the family the Tough Terry Funk. He is the toughest of the Funk family, facing Mark Lewin, who is Maniac in many ways. So let's settle down here as referee Bronco Lubitsch watches Funk in a warming up move. And that's what Funk is doing. He did this frequently as world's champion. He maneuvered around that ring for the purpose of just getting his body accustomed to the pounding on the floor and the sudden starts and stops, and get the circulation flowing and the adrenaline flowing. Then he comes to grips, usually at his own pace, and a chopping blow across the kidneys that time. And Terry Funk responds in typical fashion by turning on the man who chopped him. Terry, recently one of the stars in Sylvester Stallone's picture Paradise Alley. Many people said he was the star of the picture. I'd be inclined to agree with that. But Terry has not and will not forsake his love of wrestling. One of these people who comes from a wrestling background, his father, his brother, the only family in the world that can boast of 2 world wrestling champions. The Funk family. So Terry watches carefully as Maniac Mark Lewin holds up there for the purpose of letting the referee get him out of difficulties. He's feeling out Funk. He's testing Funk's reaction. And it doesn't take a maniac to do that. You've got to respect Terry on the basis of his tremendous record. You've got to most certainly respect him as a past world's champion. But more than that, you got to respect him because you're in the ring with him. And if you don't, you get your block knocked off. Gary Hart, the leg he was grabbing was Mark Lewin's, and Hart again may have been just drawing a curtain across what he really wanted to do that time. And Funk is taking exception to Gary Hart's presence at ringside, because that is not particularly newsworthy. I've never seen anybody who didn't object to his presence at ringside. Terry Funk telling Mark Lewin, or telling the referee, that he wants Mark Lewin to get a weight in the ropes and come out toward the center. He goes into that twisting arm lock, the underneath approach, and he's got it applied solidly, and there is Lewin. Huge arm. The one that is being held is approximately the same size and just as powerful. Lewin is a strong individual, and some sort of pain to which he is particularly impervious. Funk again, being distracted by the presence of Gary Hart on the outside. And this, of course, is Hart's greatest factor at any time when he's on the outside of the ring. You have to keep an eye on him, and this keeps you from giving 100% of your attention to the man you might be wrestling. Funk on the floor. On the concrete, Gary Hart in the process, and Bronco Lubitsch being distracted by Mark Lewin. So with Funk sprawled all over the concrete, Lewin now trying to get him back into a spot to get him into the ring, but he's also trying to make use of that chair, and Terry has become entangled in the chair. That's exactly what happened.
5 minutes.
5 minutes have gone by. This is a match that has been called the battle to see how tough Mark Lewin is. It could also answer the question, how tough is Terry Funk? 5 minutes have gone by. This is the first fall of this battle. And the question right now is whether Terry Funk's going to get back into that. Mark Lewin. Terry Funk shoulder first into that ring post, a hard, solid smash into there, and that was the arm that was struck with a chair just a while ago on the other side of the ring. Here comes Funk. His answer to a chair to find one of his own. His answer to a kick is to deliver half a dozen of his own. But right now, that left arm is giving him trouble. Right now, Mark Lewin is after it to do something with it. He has reached underneath the arm, inserted his thumb deep into the armpit, searching for the nerves that control the arm, searching for some way to keep ahead of Terry Funk by virtue of disabling one arm. Mark Lewin hanging on to the upper arm of Terry Funk. Bronco Lubitsch down watching for the contact of the shoulders with the canvas. And he hit again, and hit hard. We've got Mark Lewin coming in there to slash away at that arm. And you'll notice that he hasn't hit him anyplace else. He is now hitting that deltoid muscle, trying to make it impossible to raise the arm to the side. And Funk caught now in a double wrist lock. And Bronco Lubitsch knows the problem. There's the twist, out on the hand, pressure. And Funk, literally standing on his head here, is going to be in a position from which not be able to extricate himself. The longer that arm is held, the less likelihood there is that he is going to be able to pull it down from behind his back. The hold is now a definite hammerlock. You see Lewin leaning on it. You see the broad shoulders of this man. He's in tremendous condition, and now you can see how he's pulling at that arm. He can no longer just lean down into it. He has to pull at it in the position he's in now. But the effect is pretty much the same. And the crowd has suddenly gotten quiet as they watch Funk, for whom they have a great respect. and for whose toughness they have an equally great respect. And Lewin, with the hand twisting and turning, was reaching up there that time to take an illegal number of fingers in order to work it, and again, the turnbuckle. And he decides to substitute footwork for the injured arm, and that's exactly, oops, he may have substituted footwork, but I want to tell you, Maniac Mark Lewin had a move of his own to put a stop to that. The noise you may hear in the background or may not, that this is the effort of Maniac Mark Lewin to coordinate his breathing with his muscle effort. The hold is a hammerlock. You see it slowly sneaking up behind Terry Funk's back. 10 minutes have gone by in this first fall of this match as Lewin leans into it with his strong arms, and you see the shoulder blade starting there to show the effect of the pressure. When Lewin decided that he wanted to get another twist and a little more turn on the arm, the wrist, let it follow along right back up into the shoulder. Funk was ready to throw that fist, but Funk didn't let it go, and right now Funk is going to have to find some way to not only get that arm out of there, but to give Maniac Mark Lewin fits. He tried a headbutt, but I think it reacted on Funk as much as it reacted on Mark Lewin. But he is continuing his effort to convince Mark Lewin that he ought to let go of the hold. The arm belongs to Mark Lewin. The hand turns white as the circulation is affected. And first blow he's been able to get in there with that right hand of his, and this could be the equalizer, but Lewin is hanging on and dishing out. And he went for the spinning toe hold. This is the Funk's best family move. This is the hold that won for him the world's heavyweight title. He made the preliminary move toward it, and then it was the arm that stopped him. There's one, there's two, there's three, and that left arm was...
The winner of the first fall, 12 minutes, 11 seconds, Maniac Mark Lewin.
That left arm was unable to protect him, and the first fall goes to Mark Lewin. Mark Lewin deserved the first fall if you're counting who had the advantage most of the way. If you're counting how he got that advantage, then maybe he doesn't deserve it quite as much. But we tell you that we'll be back here again. We still have another fall coming up. But right now we pause for this word from the studio. Well, Maniac Mark Lewin has been walking around on the outside of the ring. It looked to me like he was searching for anything he could find that he could bring back into the ring with him. And we have the second fall starting, much to the disadvantage of Terry Funk. And Maniac Mark Lewin slams him down into the table, and we have the start of the second fall giving all of the advantage to Lewin. Reverse armbar, and as he lifts up on that arm, he is trying to force a concession in this second fall out of Funk. Noises come from the ring where Maniac Mark Lewin is trying again to coordinate his body movements with his breathing, and the kicks in the midsection have somewhat slowed up both his body movement and his breathing. Terry Funk trying to get that left arm working again. That left arm is his best arm. And here he goes, going for that leg again. And just what he is after was to slow up Mark Lewin. He dropped in there with his knee. Charlie horse tactics. You hit a muscle and make it harder for the leg to move. You not only give a man something that won't function properly, but you take away some of his ability to move fast. Hard again on the outside of that ring. Took a hand in the match that time, and as Funk moves in, he's looking at that leg of Mark Lewin, and fans are warning him against stepping in there because Lewin has more on his mind than just protecting that leg. Here is the atomic drop. It's Funk's move. He screwed his sole of his shoe around in a circle on Lewin's face that time. Outside, we've got Mark Lewin, and there goes Terry Funk, a man who has never hesitated to carry the battle to somebody all the way. And oh, how he pounded down on Mark Lewin that time. And as Terry Funk's left arm recovers, he holds it up there. He doesn't use it. He's using that right. And whatever Maniac Mark Lewin used, it was his right hand that delivered it. But the bit of exchange that goes on between Lewin and Gary Hart on the outside of the ring has given Mark Lewin an advantage a number of times. A quick move by Terry Funk, the spinning toe hold. And this is the hold with which Terry Funk won the World's Heavyweight title. It is also the hold with which he has won the second fall, the equalizing fall of this match, and he has not yet released the grip. And the fans now are after him to get after Gary Hart, and listen to the uproar of this Coliseum crowd as they let loose. And Terry Funk surveys Mark Lewin. Gary Hart starts to work on the leg. And we tell you we'll be back here in a moment right after we have this word from the studio. Up in the ring, Gary Hart has removed his coat. Better for him to work on
1 minute,
Mark
one
Lewin.
minute.
And referee Bronco Lubitsch is still trying to keep Funk away from both Lewin and Hart. But Funk, whoops, one shoe off and one shoe on, and Gary Hart has armed himself with a leather heel, a heel protecting a heel.
30 seconds.
And 30 seconds remain in the brief intermission period here between falls. But Funk is anxious and he's eager to move in on
15.
On Lewin. Lewin hasn't gotten up. That right leg of his, the one that's caught the brunt of the pressure that time, is the
5,
one that's giving him trouble.
3, 2, 1. Third fall.
In a spasm right now, and you can see the muscle jump and you can see his leg move, but now as he starts to move away, we've got Hart on the outside who is having his problems. Gary Hart, trying to save Mark Lewin, suddenly catches a stomp from referee Bronco Lubin. But Terry Funk is after that left leg. He's after Gary Hart, too. Funk should concentrate on Mark Lewin, or he is going to have heart trouble. With Hart on the outside, he likes nothing better than to distract the opponent of any man with whom he's associated. And it's been his tactic. Lewin getting his leg worked on. Hart doing the massaging. And Terry Funk on the inside trying to get a clear shot, one leg or both. But he just caught a finger in the eye, and he has come up there to bite at the nose of maniac Mark Lewin. But Terry is aware of what he's doing. He just dropped on that leg again, and that is going to put him points ahead. And Lewin is literally being dragged into the wallop. There comes that left arm around with a real stinging, smacking blow. And a beauty it was. The Funk going for the leg breaker. This is not the spinning toe hold, but it's one that he uses effectively to drop his weight in there and to add to the pressure around the knee and around the thigh. And the crowd gets with it. Listen to him. And as he drops back, he's in a position now to force Lewin into giving up on the fall. Lewin is reaching out there longingly in the direction of Gary Hart. The twisting and the turning movement on that leg. He's got his own leg in there as a bar, but he is anxious to work the ankle and work the foot around. Lewin trying to turn into this if he can, but he's in a tough way to do it. But he has caught Funk around the head, ripped across his eyes, and now you see him as he pounds at Terry Funk's face. Funk the man down. Lewin working him over, going for the sleep hold. He rips again across Funk's face, and Funk is having trouble. The hair flew that time as he ripped across his forehead and eyes and nose, and Terry Funk's curly hair was hanging down in his face. And the man on the floor is Terry Funk, now getting a rude reception as he starts up. Ring post, and Terry Funk is on the floor again. A hard crash with that concrete, and the fans suddenly get quiet again as they sense that tragic damage has been done to Terry Funk. And Funk has been a favorite with these fans in this match. I tell you, he wasn't always favorite when he was champion. He was full of tactics that kept him champion. And in this match, he's going to need some of those in order to come out ahead of maniac Mark Lewin. But Funk has one thing going for him, and that is that his left arm has not yet been impaired since that first fall, and he was able to deliver a blow with it, and it could happen again. Man down, Funk, and Mark Lewin intending to make sure that he stays there. Here he is trying to rearrange the face of Terry Funk, which has been rearranged a number of times. Terry came out and brought a roar of approval from the crowd. And now as the effort by Lewin is stymied, Funk puts him into a position to punish him. bow and arrow tackle, hanging on to those ropes to drive the head in where it can do some damage. Now, Hart hollering for Mark Lewin to stay on Terry Funk. Funk trying to make sure with his movement, but he doesn't. Now he's after that same leg. He is after the twisting toe hold, the spinning toe hold, the hold with which he won the second fall. Here he is after the third and deciding fall, and the crowd screaming for him to do it. And Gary Hart has just caught the attention of Terry Funk, and he has brought him into the ring, as you can see. And Funk looks a little bit woozy to me. And here he is after Gary Hart. Spinning toe hold. Put the spinning toe hold on Hart. But here he is falling prey to the sleep hold, and we've got Bronco Lubitsch calling for the bell. The bell has sounded, and with the Shanghai Sleeper bearing down on Mark Lewin, referee Bronco Lubitsch is trying to break the grip. He has called for the bell. Hart is limping on the outside of the ring. We are no word on the decision unless he has done something or disqualified Mark Lewin for interfering in when he was trying to straighten things out there and taking advantage of the back.
Bronco Lubitsch has disqualified Mark Lewin.
Disqualification. The match goes to Terry Funk. Disqualification in the third and deciding fall. Terry Funk, the winner. We'll return here in a moment, right after we have this word from the studio.